Welcome to Poppy's Workshop live. Let's see, get me kind of in, kind of out. Looking at the screens right now, making sure everything is fine. But we're going to turn our attention over to the workbench in just a moment to show you everything that is going on, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Um, I want to make sure that my frames don't drop on the live stream and that everything seems to be copacetic. Let's get started here. All right, so on the workbench, where do I start? Um, okay, I had mentioned in another video that should be coming out soon that I had ordered some Bond Extra, a box of it, of CA glue. And you'll notice stuff on this. Um, I did it for my inventory. I try to keep a decent inventory as I use stuff up. I'll buy stuff and just kind of go from there, making sure I have everything in hand. Like with, oh, can't see it there, it's down there. With my wood glue, I probably have about 4 bottles, maybe even 5 bottles, including the one that's about that full right now. I'm trying to stock up, and so I had this for, gosh, it's got to be a couple months. Finally used up what little I had that actually dried up because it dried up during the winter time. And what happened, I guess, in shipment, it had come open and leaked out. So when I'm trying to open the box, I'm like, what the heck's going on? How did they seal this? The styrofoam dissolved around. I was able to, I don't know where it is. I was able to save maybe like a third of the second bottle here. Um, and I have 2 of these empty bottles that came with it. I can't get this stuff off. And I'm going to try and save because all this upper part here is dried up and I've got to get to the liquid. I think I might be able to, but I don't know if I can get that off. I tried getting the cap off with a water pump plier. I may wind up just cutting it and then just pouring it in. So that is the ugly. Always fun. Let's see. You do know that I'm working on the 2 art pieces, the 200 women. I am still working on those, the 200 women, and the King Neptune Virginia Beach piece. But what I am doing is I will be scaling down the 200 women to make a piece. And then again, in another video, I did 2 short videos. One is published right now, where I started working on this stack cut for my second Norfolk piece. And this is a mermaid. And Norfolk is called the Mermaid City. So throughout the city, there are a number of, that's not even, doesn't matter down there. There are a number of mermaid statues around, very colorfully painted. I don't know how many there are, but there's quite a few. But yeah, that's my interpretation. This one's going to be kind of funky because I got inspired when I saw a sun that had a lot of these short alternating rays. So this is going to be a little bit trickier to cut. I'm definitely going to have to go to a smaller blade. It's a straight cut in, and I can nibble the top a little bit. But yeah, that's what we're going to be actually working on today. So I'm going to move that over to the table, the cutting deck. And then, actually, this is probably ready now. So this is the third in the series of Walk in Faith. So this is my interpretation of Jesus calming the storm, the rough seas. As I looked at this, though, let me find my red mechanical pencil, get this stuff out of the way. I need to get a bigger butcher block workbench. I keep looking at one, but I really can't justify the cost right now. This has worked very well for me. It's, it's not super big, but what is the size of it? Just the main table is 17 by 11, and then just add in whatever we have for the vice portion. But I look at designs no matter if it's my design or if it's coming from somebody else. I want to make sure that the cuts are maximized, that the bridges are there, and that they are maximized. Uh, Very important. So when you get a more complicated um, pattern or design one, look at them carefully. And I look at them twice. I look at them the first time that I print it out in full size or larger size, like I did with my art pieces. And then if you're doing like I am doing, not this one here, but with the 200 women, for example, when I scale it down, scaling it down will reveal other types of problems as well. So that's something that you need to look at. Oh, did the bridge shrink too much? Did certain lines get too small for the drills that I have? All those different things. So I do it when I first print and can study it with it in hand. And I try to make corrections in my software right then and there and reprint. Or I just say, it's so minimal, like in this case here, I'm going to make my adjustments here, and then I'll go back and then adjust my final piece or the final work in my software. So there's two things that I see here in particular. I'm very sensitive about bridges and other pieces that just kind of hang there. So we're looking at the shepherd's hook or the shepherd's staff, and I am a little bit concerned at the connection here that due to the length, and we're only talking three sixteenths. I think it's 3/16 of an inch um, thick wood. I think that might be a little bit weak. So very simple. What I'm going to do as a reminder, let me get this down so I can see, spin the blade a little bit more. I'm going to do a little fillet. So all I'm doing here as a reminder, here we go, is I am filling that in. So if you look, let me get my pencil pointing at it. There we go. If you look right there, you can see that I actually filled that in a little bit. When I'm cutting, I may actually cut that a little bit thicker, and hopefully, I'll do that on the fly. I want to make sure that I don't go into the red that I just penciled in. And then the other thing that I see is as I did the design, I was thinking of doing a bird here, and it didn't come out. So what I'm going to do, oh, I didn't bring it. I have, actually, maybe I do have one part in my head here. I do. Okay. So I've got some curves. So what I'm going to do, let's find something where my curve will connect, because I'm looking at the cloud. That's not too bad. Yeah. So pencil that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this way. Now I've got to figure out what I'm going to do with this. I know I want to eliminate this little jig jag here. So that goes up, down. Okay. Yeah, that'll look pretty good. So what I'm going to do is fill all that in. Let's get that so you can see it. So we're looking right here. Hopefully you can see it. And I am going to put an X in that little piece that's hanging. So I think that's going to make it visually a little bit more appealing. Um, and I have to rethink where I did that line. You know, because where I drew the first line, that actually is not going to be a cut. I may cut in just a little bit just to give this cloud the definition that I want there, but I still want to maintain a bridge for these clouds here. And also here, the flag of the ship, I may nick in just a little bit more to give more definition to the flag, but I did want it connected to the cloud here as a bridge because I only have two supporting areas on the sail. So that's what we have there. And let's see. Yeah. So here, I'd already pointed that out. I had drilled in 9 holes the other day, and we'll start cutting those today. Um, so that's that there. And let's see, what else was there that I wanted to talk about before moving? Oh, actually, let's do this. Let me get my stool up, and that stays there. Let's get that up and watch this. This is kind of fun. I think I got it. Yeah. Okay, so one of the things I just did is I bought something cheap off Temu, but then after I thought about it, I'm like, ah, you dummy. You didn't have to do that. So I had this Bluetooth number pad that I had for work that actually connects to my regular computer because I have a big laptop with an 18-inch screen, but I don't really like the layout of the. Let me do this. I think it's this one here. Nope, it's that one. Oh, I'm having too much fun with this, and I'll explain it fully in a moment. Um, so I don't really like the keyboard layout on the laptop, in particular where the number pads are, and I like to be able to get this closer to where I'm sitting. Well, I thought about it is with the software that I'm using on the computer that's that that way, um, it has macros, hotkeys. So I programmed each of me. So I'm not touching things and switching things and turning things off. Well, let me get this to the camera here. All right, so in the number pad itself, what I've done is I've programmed um, keys 1 through 9. So each of them will do something. I have 3 cameras. I have the camera that's right on that gives the wide angle view. Then I have the camera up there that gives the close up of the cutting deck. And of course, what we just saw was the workshop, or I should say the workbench. And that was the way that I used to have to do it is I would be here, then I'd have to reach over to the laptop if I didn't have a mouse, because right now all my USBs are taken and I don't have a Bluetooth mouse handy dandy. I have one in my home office, but using it for work right now on the work laptop. Um, so I have to use the touchpad and move the touchpad around. So when I want to start streaming or start recording, I have to use the touchpad over to the right. Uh, click go. Then I have to go all the way to the left to the scenes and then click on the different scenes that I want. Now, by programming in macros, that's all programmed in. So I can easily switch from here we have the wide angle, which is 3, and then go to 2, which now is the close up of the blade. And then from there, um, I can do split wide or split top. So in this case, I think that's number 6. I made a cheat sheet. So I press 6, and now you can see uh, right there. Yay, let me back that up. Right there, I now have the inset. And this is probably the view that I am going to use most. Um, and then I can put this down in my little tray. And as long as I'm using the vacuum, it shouldn't get dust in it. So that's down here now. So if I find that I have to change things, I can be right here, boom, touch whichever number, and it will change. So in that case, I think I'm on, what am I on? Split top. Now I'll just reverse those two, and now we have it a little bit different. I don't particularly care for this view itself, but it is what it is. So this makes switching things around a whole lot easier. Um, I just have been finding doing streaming and trying to make it look professional um, is is a challenge, and I want it to be trying to get these things on. Come on, this way. I want it to be visually appealing. Um, so that's kind of what we're working on. Let's see. I think that pretty much covers it. But I'm trying to remember what I wanted to do here. This is a number 5 Flying Dutchman. And I think that's what I am going to start with. I know this may be coming close to end of life. Um, and we'll see how that goes. What I like about having small pieces like this versus the big art pieces is that I can um, flip it to its side and easily thread uh, the holes here. So I've got to think how I want to do this. I'm going to go down here and let me get my pointy. I'm going to go down here and shape these and then just work my way back. See how that actually works. So let's get cutting. I'm going to turn on my noise canceling headphones. Actually, I need a drink here. Pardon the gulping. And I better put my lid on a little bit. That way, no sawdust gets in. So let me make sure everything's adjusted the way that I like, make sure that you can see. And I think that pretty much covers what I'm going to say at the moment. Let you watch a little bit, and then if I have some thoughts, I'll let you know what my thoughts are. So I'm going to go rolled off, get some music going. And get the vacuum going. Okay, let's do this. Speeding up the blade a little bit. Not sure I like the way it's tracking, and that may be because I put a fifth layer of walnuts. Not too bad, but I noticed the blade is handling a little bit differently. I think how I want to do this. So I'm nibbling that first small way. I have to go back and smooth it a little bit. Actually, let me do this. Do this. So I try to use the waist area. So I'm finding areas where I can turn my blade and to keep those sharp corners. Yeah, that was going way off. Wow. So for now, I have voiced this concern. Visually, I'm not sure how this particular bridge looks or even works. I mean, it works, but having a sun ray go right into her forehead, I'm going to turn a little bit more and then a slight nibble. So I want definition in the hair. This is going to be an interesting. All right, I just decided what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep the turn. Actually, I'm going to nibble a little bit. Give myself a little bit more room to get the blade in, and I'm going to switch sides. Let the blade catch up. You'll notice that I stop moving the wood once in a while. I'm just checking how the blade is tracking, letting the blade catch up. Trying to decide what I want to do. I guess I'll keep going. I didn't look that clean. I want to get it a little bit cleaner. There we go. Okay, I think that works. Hopefully these pieces will drop right through. Yep, this is the part that I didn't want. Pattern came off a little bit, and I just have a little bit more to cut. There we go. Now I can continue. So let me switch scenes again. Uh, what I want is the split wide, which is number 5. No, not split wide, split top. There we go. Okay. So let me know if you find that doing that split seam with the top as the primary, let's see, trying to just get that corner really sharp. There we go. I think I did enough in the middle. Yeah, back it up. So you see I'm going very, very slow, trying to get that good start on the line. Again, I'm finding that the blade dulling and having the different pieces of wood as the last layer causes it to behave differently. Okay, let's get this to be clean. There we go. Yeah, so you can see here, this is the walnut, this is the butternut. Um, and I just forgot, butternut was almost 500 Janka. Walnut was 11 or 1200. So in essence, double the hardness. So you can understand how it will behave differently. So let's do this. Let's swap out plates. Let me turn off the vacuum for a little bit here, just to give me a little rest from the noise, even though I've got noise canceling headphones on. So this is a blade that I've already had. I don't think there's a lot of use on it. I'm trying to be a little bit more judicious when it comes to um, blade usage, get the most out of them. I know some people just keep using them until they'll finally break. Um, slow that down a little bit. Okay, yeah. Let's see. What do I want to do here? No, let's do the other big one. See, with the small hole, small blade, small wood, it's so much easier doing this. All right, I'm pulling up. I want to make sure that I've got this as tight as possible because when I tension, I feel it here. Well, you can't see it, but my thumb, as I flip the lever back, um, I want to make sure that it's a nice tight feel. So there we go. Yep, that feels good. Yeah, and this is one of my complaints about the 30-inch Pegasus. I don't do big enough pieces, but it was a matter of the 21 being out of stock, the 30 being able to be delivered 2 days later when my then Excalibur went down. I've since fixed the Excalibur, and it's just sitting on a shelf as an emergency backup or as a travel um, saw. But yeah, the thing is, usually if you had a 21, I could reach and adjust here the tension. But I have to get up, walk around, and you know, this is 30 inches to here. Um, so you're talking 40 inches or so. So okay, so I just switched to a number 3 um, Flying Dutchman Ultra Reverse. We'll see how that reacts and responds. So you can see here that I am doing a 5-layer stack cut. Um, and again, it is all butternut until the very last piece that I had a off cut and said, hey, let me go and do this. And it was probably very stupid because one thing that I'm thinking of, I think it's actually 1/4 inch or 3/8. I have some really soft wood. Um, so this is walnut. So what I was thinking, and I'm so thick-headed. I was thinking of slapping on a 1/4 inch or 3/8 inch of some, I think it might be basswood. So it's very soft, um, just so that I can get 5 pieces in a cut. Because that's one of the things that I've learned as I cut is you want to maximize the time that you're at the scroll saw cutting pieces. So, for example, let's say that for giggles, just to make it easy math, this takes 5 hours to cut. Well, now that I make 5 pieces, then I can say that my time is 1/5 of that per piece. So each piece, when I think of pricing or how I value it, it is 1 hour. Same thing with the art pieces. If I have 10 hours into that art piece, then you're talking, because it's a double stack, it is now, what did I say, 10 hours? It's now 5 hours. So that's one reason you do it, for pricing and valuation. But again, it's also, if you are trying to make sales, you want to be able to maximize your time and say, look, I can sit at the scroll saw for 5 hours and I know I'm going to have 5 pieces. If I can do this in 1 hour, so now I'm going to do, let's say I have 5 different designs and I can get them done in an hour. Well, now all of a sudden I have 25 pieces in 5 hours. So again, if you are looking at trying to sell, make money, or whatever, that's where you're going to maximize what you do. And again, a slow cutter like me, very deliberate in how I cut, um, that's part of the trade-off. So that's why I'm stacking more and saying, I can easily go to an inch, inch and a half in my stack and get as many pieces as possible. So let's go noise world off and the vacuum on and music on. And let's get started. We'll see how this goes. Keep the line clean. I'm going to come in at a steeper angle. There we go. Just trying to see. I just saw a message come up, but that was from YouTube. And so far, I don't have too many frames that drop. I think I'm going to do the same thing as I did the other pieces. I'm going to cut across, let the blade catch up. Sharpen that edge up a little bit. The blade catch up. Looks like there's a little scorching. All right, I'm going to do this one differently. I'm going to back up. I'm going to make a little bit of room to spin the blade with minimal friction. Oh, a little bit off balance there. So I'm going to come up a little bit sharper. I'm thinking that I could redesign that there. I could have gone across and just make that a separate um, pierce cut. So where I'm about to go, I could have bridged over and just this would have been a pierce cut. And just a little bit, that'll correct the neck. All right, here's a nice long cut. I am debating how I'm going to do the sun. I'm actually thinking of cutting around those rays first, getting this centerpiece of wastewood out, and then going back and cutting each of the rays separately. I think logically that makes the most sense. And I'm going to pop the face right now. Number one may be a good blade. So I'm going to turn a little bit more, and I'm going to shape that chin and mouth. Same thing here. So what I do is I nibble a little bit out into the waist so I can shape the face and do the nose. Now I'm going to go past the nose and then trim in. Nose is a little bit too big there. Okay. So, and actually, let me do this. Since I'm already there, I'm going to cut this part of the leg. Because I had to go this way anyway, to give myself more turning room for her nose. So I'm in that waist area. I'm going to back up in a second so that I can shape that nose a little bit finer. There we go. Come on. I want that delicate nose. I don't want to have a big schnoz like mine. And you know, dummy me. Oh no, I didn't. Okay. Oh, I thought I just cut a bridge. I didn't. This is where the bridge is. And I think I'm going to do what I said I was going to do. First, I'm going to cut out this little piece. And then, there we go. Almost got a little carried away there. Started zoning out. And I'm just going to go to this corner. Come in steep. Turn in the waist area. I'll be able to correct that. Yes. See where my target is. Well, that's in your way. There we go. Oh, I forgot there's 5. Okay, so here's where we're at right now. And so what I am looking at doing, get my pointer, is now I'm just going to attack each of these rays with plenty of room to be able to move the blade around. The only question that I have, because they're so fine, is would it be better to use a number 1 blade versus a number 3? what I want to do. I may regret that. Come on, snap, blade. There we go. That was a little crazy. So I'm just smoothing out. Yeah, some pieces. Don't want to get out of the way. You know, I think I want to do this. Ah, that didn't track what I wanted. I almost made a major boo-boo. I bailed out of that just quick enough. Something's in the way there. What I'm going to do, well, that doesn't matter. Oh, 1% of my frames have dropped. Let's try that again. I'll come back up higher, swoop up higher, slow down, and make that turn. Still not quite where I wanted it, but not too bad. see. See how far my red line goes down. I'm going to clean up that a little bit here. Back in that. That's kind of weird. It may just be stuck. Alright, that was just sawdust. I'm going to do this. This is a better angle for me. Not have to fit it. And give myself a little turn around. I'm going to bring that in as close as that red is. I got a piece holding me up. Let me try something different here. That's close. I think I'm going to not cut this as deep in. I'm going to have a sharper angle here. I'm going to come off this a little bit faster. There we go. So I don't want it to go as close to the inner line for the sun think that might create a weak point. All right, let's give myself a bit this way. There we go. A little bit of cleanup there, and there. Okay, let's get things turned off here. All righty, let's see where we're at here. That actually went a lot better than I had thought. And a lot of stuff didn't go down. Okay, let me sand the back of this. All right, let's. I did get a little sawdust on that. Okay, so here we go. Where's that light switch? Pardon my hat. Get a little bit more light this way. Okay, so you can see the sun is halfway cut. She's partway cut, and we're moving along quite nicely here. I think that's coming along. I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do the sun over here because again, my glue points are in the corners. Actually, I think I did glue across the top a little bit too. Um, Trying to keep in mind how that's going to work. But there you go. I think that came out nice for its current. Let's see what it looks like from behind. There we go. I think that looks pretty good. So that completes the live for Sunday. And I think right now, I think I'm going to do Sunday live for about an hour or so. Um, Talk a little bit more in the beginning. And then while I'm cutting, basically shut up. Let's see. I think that's, yeah, that'll be for Sunday. Going to try once a week. I was thinking once a month. I'm not quite sure yet. Then what I will do is during the week, as I'm cutting, I'll probably do some short, 7 to 10 minute videos. Get a couple of those in scheduled so you can see what I'm working on. Because technically, right now, I am working on 4 projects at the same time. Um, this one I'm going to have to start drilling out. And that's more to keep me from getting bored, but also to keep you from getting bored. Um, so we have to deal with that. Um, so yeah, there you go. That's the end of this live session, just a little bit over an hour. May the Lord richly bless you. Make it a great day right here at Poppy's Workshop.